don't come to Germany thinking that everyone's going to be mean and no one's going to be your friend, because then everyone's going to be mean and no one's going to be your friend. That's the tea on that. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Stephanie and I am a Canadian who is living in Germany, and I make videos about my life here in Germany, usually weekly vlogs, but also some once in a while little things like morning routine. So you can also check out my other videos and subscribe to my channel for updates to make sure you can see all the new videos I post. Today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I get a lot of questions about from especially my friends back home in Canada. They ask me a lot about how I made friends moving to a new continent, a new country, and a new city where we knew absolutely nobody. My husband's pretty social, so I find that he doesn't really have a hard time making friends, but I personally, I'm social, but I'm also very shy at times. In past, I would be maybe very reserved until I knew someone very well, and that does work, but you really get to know someone better in a quicker amount of time and become better friends when you're really willing to let them in. So that's something that I've worked on personally a lot, and I think it's really helped me in making friends here. So what I'm going to give to you today is 3 different ways to make friends when you're living abroad, and honestly this is applicable to anybody. It doesn't have to be someone who's moving to Germany, it doesn't have to be someone who's even moving to a new city. This can apply to you if you live, you know, either the same city, maybe you already have a lot of friends but you want to expand your friend group. So this is going to be my top 3 ways to make friends in Germany or other places. So the first thing I have to say before I start into this video is I have to really address the common misconception about Germans, and that is that they are unfriendly. I'm not sure why this started or who started this, but anytime I read about Germans, about someone moving to Germany, the videos in their YouTubes, it's always like, Germans are not friendly, German women are really mean. And obviously it's clickbait, so like take it with a grain of salt, but I'm here to say, to finally close the door on this, that is totally not true. They're really friendly. I think you have to know how to approach them, but you also have to be mindful of your own misconceptions. And the first thing on that I would say is, don't come to Germany thinking that everyone's going to be mean and no one's going to be your friend, because then everyone's going to be mean and no one's going to be your friend. Not because they actually are, but because you're viewing them this way. It's a really bad way to start off, and that's the tea on that. So ridiculous claims aside, as I said, Germans are very friendly and it's very easy to make friends with them. I actually find that compared to North Americans, they're a lot more active in their hobbies. You'll definitely find them in sports clubs. You'll definitely find them out and about on the weeknights, weekdays. The patios are always full, especially in the summer. They're always out, they're always with their friends, and they're very social. Like, it can be difficult to break into a friend group. And of course, that's the case anywhere in the world, I think. So the tips that I'm gonna give you today are really gonna help you to do that, to really break into a friend group, and then you can really expand from there. And one more thing, I think I keep on saying this, one more thing I have to say before I get into my 3 different ways to make friends in Germany or elsewhere is, when you're able to speak English in a country where English isn't the first language, oftentimes all the other international students, travelers, visitors, long-term residents, whatever, what you'll find a lot, and especially in Germany, is that most people speak English. Not just Germans, and Germans mostly do speak English, even if they say they only speak a little bit. Their version of a little bit is a really high level of English. But not only Germans, but also international groups. So I'll often see like a group of international students. Maybe one's Italian, maybe one is from Austria, maybe one's from France, maybe one's Spanish. When these groups of students are together, 99% of the time, they're all speaking English. They are speaking your first language as their second language in a group. You are so lucky. I am so lucky because I don't have to know any other language basically to make friends here. I should learn German, and I will learn German because I'm trying to, but I don't have to. So that's, I think, something that's really makes it a lot easier for English speakers to make friends in other countries where English isn't the first language, because it's such an international language A lot of people want to learn it because of this, and a lot of people already do know it. So when you have a group of friends, even when with a group of friends of maybe 3 German people, 2 English-speaking people, a Spanish person, Italian person, we're all speaking English. Okay, now let's get into the list. I just have my little notes here because I want to make sure I don't miss any points. The first way that you can meet friends when you move to another country is through formal places, so formal friendships. And what I mean by formal is that it's somewhere that you go, let's say every day or almost every day. There's kind of a set group of people who go to these places, and usually around the same time. So that's something like school, if you have classes together, if you have a job and you work together. So that's the first item I'm talking about. And for me personally, if you're new to my channel, you know that I am not in school here, and I am also not working here formally. So this is a little bit difficult for me. That wasn't something that was really an option. I was actually hoping to take language courses in German, and I am taking them online, but I was hoping to be able to take them in person, which would give me an opportunity to make these friendships, but that never happened. That never happened because of Corona, and so that wasn't really an option. My husband made a lot of friends this way. He has a lot of friends from his work. He works at university, so he was lucky in that way, but poor me. The tip I have for this of making friends in formal situations like school or work is, I think you really have to be willing to open yourself up to people and be willing to, I don't want to say embarrass yourself, but you might embarrass yourself anytime you put yourself out there. This is something I personally had to work on in my previous job. I did find often that I would kind of not close myself off, but I would be less willing to be open with my coworkers just because I felt like I didn't want to come off as unprofessional. There was my personal life and there was my work life, and they would never combine. Of course, there's professional and personal, but when you're with some of your peers, like some of your coworkers, I think it's not only fine to kind of put them together a little bit, like obviously stay professional while you're at work, but get to know each other out of work, outside of work, and honestly, this can really help your friendships at work. Not everything needs to be professional, and I think you'll notice that as you go through your career, if you're in a professional industry like I have been in, where the contacts that you make at more social functions and the willingness to participate in outside social functions are actually where you make the real connections, and connections is what makes the working world go round. Which brings us to our next place to make friends, and that is through informal situations. And what do I mean by informal situations? First of all, I have to say, this is my least favorite way of making friends. It's not even that it's uncomfortable, it's that I feel like it has a very low success rate for me personally, but it's still an option. Informal places to meet friends would be things like maybe a gym class that you go to frequently, like once a week. What else? A bar or a park where you see people that you might see someone there regularly, but they may or they may not be there. Like, it's not a given that they're going to be there. Versus work or school, like it's almost a given that they're going to be there. So that's what I mean by informal one. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it because honestly, I think this was just a matter of luck. If you find someone with your interests, if you find someone who doesn't feel a little bit taken aback by someone out of the blue asking, for example, like, hey, can we go grab a coffee or something like that? Some people are into it. A lot of people, I think, would say, you're weird. That sucks, but you know what? If they think you're weird, who cares? I think Germans would be a little more taken aback by this than maybe North Americans. As unlikely as it is going to work in North America, it's even less likely that it's going to work in Germany. Try it out. If it works for you, amazing. If it doesn't work for you, don't sweat it because it doesn't work for most people. And finally, last but not least, last is the favorite. The third way that you can make friends in Germany or anywhere else in the world is through an app. This is how I made most of my friends in Germany. If I didn't meet them through my husband, who met them the first method formally through work, I met them through an app, and it's called Bumble BFF. It's the same app that you use for dating. I never actually got to use dating. Oh, not get to use. I never used dating apps because they just weren't popular when I was single. My husband and I have been together for 11 or 12 years. I've lost count, but we've been together for 11 or 12 years, and dating apps just were not really popular yet. There was no dating apps on my BBM or my BlackBerry Curve, that's for sure. So Bumble BFF works essentially the same way as I understand the dating app works. You see profiles of, I want to say women. I think this is exclusively for women, so men, sorry. Actually, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just for women. And it asks you a couple questions like, do you drink? Do you smoke? Are you active? Do you have pets? Are you single or married? Do you have kids? That kind of thing. And that is viewable to others who have profiles, and really helps people determine whether or not do you think would be a good fit. I think it's really important, like obviously in dating apps it's important too, but I think especially for Friends app is to be very honest about what you're looking for in a friend. I personally am not very active, so I said not very active, like work out once in a while on my app, because I don't want to meet a friend, like I don't want to hate this person, but if someone's looking for a friend to go on like 6-hour hikes with, and I'm looking for a friend to go to a bar with, like we're not going to really match up. You have to be honest about what you want, and I think that's how you're going to find the most success on this app. The thing I would say for using this app is that you should really be open to people. If they seem like maybe a cool match for you, just swipe right, like this. Swipe right? I don't know. Swipe on them, have a little chat with them, get to know them, ask them if they're a native of the city that you're in, ask them what their favorite thing to do in that city is. I think it's really a cool way to meet other friends, because there's literally no judgment. Like when you try and meet someone in the informal method that I talked about previously, the second method, there's a little bit of a judgment of, oh, like you don't have any friends, that's kind of weird. Well, really like-minded people who are coming together, and that's really cool. I've met a lot of cool women on there from varying ages, usually around my age. You can filter the age that you like or that you're interested in, and from different backgrounds. I've made friends with 2 German women, 2 American women, 2 Indian women. So after talking to people for a little while, like however long you feel like, you just invite them for a coffee, like let's go meet up, let's go hang out at a park. There's a lot of different things you can do. So I think it's a really nice app, and I really recommend it for anyone. I know we have it in Toronto. I'm pretty sure it's in the US as well. If it's in Germany, and it's basically, I assume, everywhere that Bumble is. So definitely check it out if you if you haven't already. I think you just download the Bumble app and then you swipe on the settings, and it has, I think there's Bumble Business and there's also Bumble BFF. So it's Bumble BFF, highly recommend. I've made a lot of friends on it, and I'm sure you can too. Okay, everybody, so this has been my 3 ways to make friends here in Germany or anywhere else, abroad, at home, yourself up to more friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for my channel so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video, and it really helps support my channel. So thanks very much for watching. Bye.